I think you made it too easy because nobody trusts it. That's what a CEO said to me after I started saving his company over $20,000 per year for his service team. Not thank you, not this is amazing, too easy. And this sentence tells you everything you need to know about service technical debt. If your team is used to broken systems and workarounds that take extra time, the problem is when it gets fixed and it actually works, it feels wrong because it's easier. So I was working with this 5-person service team, and every month they were actually losing something that nobody was tracking. And it wasn't money, it wasn't clients, it was actually something worse: time. But not just a few hours here or there. It was one entire week gone from one administrative task that was not optional. And when I tell you what that task was, you're going to want to check your own business too, because it's actually a task that all service businesses need to complete. And even if this is not the task where you're bleeding time, guaranteed there is a process that is bleeding time in your business. And this task was invoicing. They were spending an entire week every year just on invoicing alone. So when we rebuilt it from scratch, we actually gave the 5-person team back 300 hours per year. Now, here's where it actually gets interesting, because that time actually translated to $700 in billable hours per month per person on that 5-person team, which means an additional $42,000 of additional billable revenue for that team for every year that they use this updated invoicing process. And like I said, the boss said to me, I think you made it too easy because nobody trusts it. That is the crux of service technical debt. Because when broken systems are normalized, then when something actually works, it feels suspicious. So today, we're going to break down exactly how service technical debt is probably draining your business from the inside out. And the problem is it makes you have the impossible choice of choosing between client results or generating revenue. And the fact is you shouldn't have to choose. And that's why this video is so important. It's going to show you how you don't have to. This isn't just one team, one business, one industry's problem. This is actually a problem amongst service businesses. So I ran a poll last week for service-based business owners, and I asked what was your highest non-billable time suck. So what takes the most time that you cannot actually bill clients for? So I don't know. Can you guess what the number one answer was? Because it wasn't communication, wasn't even technical maintenance or technical fixes, but the top 2 answers accounted for 86% of the results. And they said their biggest time drain was meetings, documentation, and administrative work, not to mention invoicing. So think about that for a second though. 86% of people are actually losing their time to tasks that have nothing to do with getting clients results, which would therefore grow and scale your business. And that's exactly what service technical debt creates. It creates systems that force you to work harder and longer to generate the same results if the number of clients increases. So let's look at what this is actually costing you. But before we dig into the good stuff, this is video number 4 in a series of 6 of the Technical Debt Detox series. And business is not just about what you sell and who you sell to anymore. It's also how you build your business online to actually facilitate the business and the growth of your business. This is week 4. We've gone through marketing, sales, now service. Next week is support. And last, I'm going to give you my 5-part framework to fully audit your business's technical infrastructure. More importantly, how to actually level up so that you do not start 2026 in a high amount of technical debt. There's a link down below, and you can be the first to get next week's when you figure out how your support team is actually sitting on an actual gold mine for your business. All right. So back to that 5-person team, because here's what their invoicing process actually looked like. Every single month, each person had to go through and manually review all the client work and hours turned in. Then they had to approve those hours and they had to submit those hours to accounting. So how long do you think this took them? The original process actually took them 5 to 8 hours per person per month. Everyone genuinely hated it. Like they actually dreaded doing it. So much to the point that accounting was publicly shaming people because they weren't doing this work in a timely fashion, which of course causes delays. Then invoices are sent out late, which also creates a cash flow problem. So of course, there is a direct cost to this, and that is the salary that you're paying somebody to work these hours. But there's a second cost that's actually way worse, and businesses don't even think about this. First, let's actually break down the direct time cost. So the average is 6.5 hours per person per month. So times 5 people, that's going to be about 32.5 hours monthly, and times 12 months, that's 390 hours for this team for the year, which is nearly 10 full work weeks. That's almost an entire quarter gone just on invoicing alone. If each person costs about $50, then for 32.5 hours per month, that is $1,625 monthly. And then times 12 months, that is $19,500 annually just on one invoicing process. Now remember, I said there was a second cost, and that's worse, right? So here it is. Those 6.5 hours, if nothing changed, those are hours you cannot actually bill your clients for. But what if you could bill those hours? If they actually bill at $100 an hour, which is pretty conservative for most service work, that's $650 per month per person lost in potential revenue. So times 5 people, that's $3,250 per month that your company is not able to bill. Times 12 months, that's $39,000 per year in revenue that you're not generating because that time is being sucked away like a vampire from one process in your business that's actually creating friction and not flow. So it doesn't just cost you their salary. It costs you the potential revenue that your business could be earning if they had that time back. The direct cost plus the opportunity cost from one broken process comes to a total of $58,500. So now that you know the direct cost and the opportunity cost of fixing just one process in this business, not only did cash flow improve, but nobody was resistant to focusing on client work anymore. The problem though is when teams get used to fighting broken systems, that's what feels normal. All of a sudden when it's easy, it feels wrong. But a fixed process with a functional technical setup should feel easy. And if it's set up correctly, then it's not a problem, it's an asset. So now that we know the potential upside, let's talk about the real problem that this whole invoicing process actually reveals. And it's the fact that a service business is actually making an impossible choice. And most business owners don't know that they're actually making it. Scenario 1. You prioritize client results. So you spend the time you need to deliver amazing outcomes. You do it right and you don't cut corners. But you can only take on X number of clients because your team has a full capacity. Revenue is capped and you can't actually exceed your goals because there are only so many hours in the day. Or scenario 2, you prioritize revenue. You take more clients on, you get more cash flow, but now you don't have the time to serve each client properly. So your results are going to suffer, your quality is going to drop, and your client satisfaction is going to take a nosedive. So you're making money, yes, but probably destroying your reputation for tomorrow. Both scenarios are losing scenarios. You're either sacrificing revenue for quality or quality for revenue. Pick your poison. And the reason that you're being forced to choose has nothing to do with your capacity. It has everything to do with every single minute and hour your team is spending on tasks that don't make you any money. So if your team is wasting 6.5 hours per month on invoicing, then that is 6.5 hours they are not dedicating toward taking on more clients or providing more service to the existing clients that you have. So getting that time back means you can get both, not one or the other. And that is why service technical debt is so expensive. It not only costs you directly, it costs you indirectly as well, because it's not just the cost of wasted time. And every business I work with is dealing with some form of this, because then at that point, you don't have a capacity problem, you have a systems problem. And if you don't know which system is the culprit, then take my free tech health score, because you answer 25 questions. It takes you about 10 minutes, and that's going to tell you exactly where all of your non-billable vampires are sitting in your system. First, we need to find your invoicing process. Ask your team this exact question. What is the one task you hate doing the most, or that takes you the most time? Whatever they say, that is your starting point. That's where your service technical debt is costing you the most. And the second thing you need to do is you actually need to calculate this cost. How much time does this actually take per week or per month? 2, how many people are affected by this process? And 3, is this billable or non-billable time? Once you know those answers, you're going to know how many total hours are lost every single year. Then you can multiply that by your average hourly rate, and that's going to be your direct cost. And if it's non-billable, then you're going to take that number and multiply it by your billable hourly rate, which becomes your opportunity cost. And this is how much one process is costing you. Guaranteed, once you do this math, your mind is going to be blown at how much money you're letting walk out the door simply by having broken systems. So step 3 is to actually fix it, because I'm not just here to rub salt in the wound. We actually need to take steps to fix the problem. And this isn't just about adding a new tool. This is about rebuilding the process so that it actually serves your business instead of draining it. Again, like I said, though, if you don't know where to start, getting your tech health score is going to be a great place to start. It's going to tell you where you're struggling the most when it comes to your current business's technical infrastructure. It's going to support you in figuring out where your technical debt is hiding in your current business setup. But speaking of support, that's next week's video. And it's going to shift how you think about your entire support department and how your support department feeds your business growth. Every business at some point has to do some sort of client support in one way or another. But most businesses treat those complaints like a game of whack-a-mole. When they pop up, you get rid of them as fast as you can. They're actually a gold mine for product improvements, process gaps, and highlighting customer needs. Information that every other department in your business would really benefit from having. So I want to show you how to turn your complaints department into the most strategic department in your business. So if this video is live right now, it'll be right here or here. But if not, then join the Technical Debt Detox down below and you'll be the first to know. I am Alyssa, the business cowgirl, and don't start 2026 in technical debt. Let's fix this, and I'll see you on the next one.